voice like rain on an old tin roof brings stories alive with a soothing truth. In pages he weaves a world so light, the stars lean close to kiss the night. His voice lulls hearts in restless mind, lost in tales where dreams unwind. The book feather reads as shadows rise, his words are calm as lullabies. So turn the page and close your eyes, float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide, relax and let the world subside. A thousand accents the moonlight bends, in words no borders, no distance ends. Worlds collide in his gentle tone, a whisper makes you feel at home. Each line he shares feels like coming back to a hearth of words in the silent black. From novels deep to poems that sway, he reads the night into the day. So turn the page and close your eyes, float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide, relax and let the world subside. A thousand accents the moonlight bends, in words no borders, no distance ends. Across the oceans the story's tide, relax and let the world subside. A voice like rain on an old tin roof brings stories alive with a soothing truth. In pages he weaves a world so light, the stars lean close to kiss the night. His voice lulls hearts in restless mind, lost in tales where dreams unwind. The book feather reads as shadows rise, his words are calm as lullabies. So turn the page and close your eyes, float where the quiet whispers lie. Across the oceans the story's tide, relax and let the world subside. A thousand accents the moonlight bends, in words no borders, no distance ends. Worlds collide in his gentle tone, a whisper makes you feel at home. Each line he shares feels like coming back to a hearth of words in the silent black. From novels deep to poems that sway, he reads the night into 1,000 accents the moonlight bends. In words, no borders, no distance ends. Across the oceans, the story's tide. Relax and let the world subside.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Giggity. All right.
Seems quiet. Too quiet.
I'm Batman. Gotham is never safe without me. What time is it? It's 7 o'clock. Okay. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You can attach towers? Shut up.
Impromptu performance this evening, which I must say was indeed a welcome distraction. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. You're very kind. This is going to be funny.
Good evening. It is wonderful to see you all. I hope you are doing well. Hello everyone. My gosh, chat has just been popping like it's hot. First of all, Jesse, thank you for giving the newest follower, Chrissy Leo, who I'm guessing you know because of how that worked out. Thank you for giving Chrissy a sub. And Chrissy, welcome in. Lovely to have you here. I hope you're doing well. Congrats on grabbing first and second place to both of you. Absolutely amazing. Who redeemed? Chew, that's right. Chew. Good to see you, sir. Congrats on getting almost second. We used to call that third place, but Stump Mama's Mama. Lovely to have you back. Oh, Amlas. Hello, hello. Let's see. The kebab. Because it comes with a salad with mango chutney and some rice. Not bad. Purple. Hello. Hello. Hi, Purple. That tasted purple. You loved the music beforehand? Thank you. I can't claim any of it. I threw in some prompts, some things to help kind of generate the whole thing. The only thing I created out of that was the video that goes with it. I made the video, but I did not make the song. But I'm a fan of the song. I think it's really nice. It's very calm and smooth. But yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. You know when you're about to say something and then you forget what that is? That's me right now. Couldn't even tell you. Anyway, I've been there many times, right? Oh, and let me give you a follow as well. I'm not a follow for follow kind of person, but I did take a quick peek, and I want to check out your stream sometime if I can. So it's a song I would listen to while watching a sunset. Well, that's just pretty. That's nice. Absolutely. And why is my camera supposed to be following me? There we go. See, this camera works on hand signals. I can go like this. and then I can tell it to go back. All that kind of good stuff. It's a fun time. Let me show you your puzzle for tonight. Bam. You can't get much more American than that. I don't know where or even technically what that is, but I would like to visit. I would. I haven't yawned at all today. Why is it every time I start stream? I'll tell you what I have done today, though. For the first time in quite a while, I actually think I had more calm and relaxing time than I did anything else. So... excuse me. Do we have a count yet? No. When you're going to be reading, you do yawn. I know. It doesn't make any sense. I guess at this point it would be weird if I didn't. But yeah, my back has been absolutely just murderous today. I can't tell if it's just my back being my back and because I'm an old man, or if it's a kidney stone. Let's hope it's not the second thing. Cheers, by the way. Man, that's some good tea. Does lemon juice? Yes, it does, if you can manage to swallow it. Lemonade, citrus, basically in general, helps break down the makeup of a kidney stone. And I take things to help. Don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes my body doesn't care. So, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Overdo it working on projects? Possibly. That is definitely a possibility. Yeah. That's some good tea. All right, the puzzle is in motion. We also have the RPG game. Gosh, yep, there it is. Jesse's on it. Other than that, tomorrow's Monday. You love that Discord command. This is a link. Yes, I'm pretty much straightforward on that. Need to add 1 to your spins and negative. Oh, thank you. Gosh, where would I be without you? I do need to add 1 because you gifted a sub as I was getting ready. And yes, let's take off 5. And because of that, we get to spin for you. There we go. All right. This is for you, Jesse. Good luck. Okay, well. Statistically, one of these days, someone has to land on the damn wedge. So, Chrissy, every time someone subscribes, resubscribes, or gifts a sub or subs, I spin the wheel for that many amount to see if they land on the wedge. And a few months ago, it started out as a $25 Amazon or Steam card as the win, but each month thereafter, it went up. It went to 50, then it went to 75. Excuse me. Now it's at 100. And still, it has not been landed on. So we're keeping it at 100 until someone lands on it. So, good luck. May the wheel be with you. All right. And you may not be able to see it very well, but I did add you, Chrissy, to the wall of subs, the novel bookshelf. You're at the very bottom. I'm literally using my mouse to point as if you can see my mouse because I'm an idiot. But you're there. Excuse me. You're there. I promise. You're there. You did see it? Okay, cool. I managed to update it just in time before we started. All right. The last thing that we add to our stream is marble races. So we do 16 races, Grand Prix style, 4 laps per race. And at the end, we see who gets to be on the podium, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Remember how I told you yesterday and you said, wait till it says do the thing tomorrow, but it didn't prompt? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Kay's here. Kay's here. Kay is here. Kay is in my stream. Kay's here. Oh my god. Kay. Hi, Kay. Hi. Okay, stay calm. Breathe. Hi, Kay. Hi, Kay. Kay's here. Remember how I told you yesterday and you said, wait till it says do the thing tomorrow? Oh, it didn't prompt. Oh, well, that's weird. So wait. You subscribed at a tier 2? Is that what you're saying? Jesse. Madame. Thank you for doing tier 2. That's like tier 1, but twice. Ow. Okay. Well, in the case of tier 2s and tier 3s and how that goes, it's basically double spins, which also means I need to add 2 more to the count. Son of a biscuit. All right, so now we're up to 12. Aw, biscuits. Okay. Well, it's too late. I already did it. But I do want to acknowledge, thank you for doing a tier 2. That's above and beyond. Above and beyond. In fact, it's your stream, your rules, your chair. Indeed. Why don't we get 2 workouts going right now, and then we'll get into the book and our marble races. So
Streamer PixX10.
if you feel like, you know, exercising with me, you can. So the first one is I pick times 10.
Rating squats
Max 5.
Ooh, weighted squats times 5. There's only so many heals you can do, Kay. All right. So I'll do the weighted squats first, and then I'll probably do some like hammer curls, regular curls, something like that. Let's see if the camera actually follows me this time. Because last time, it like shot up to the ceiling for some reason. Stay focused. Stay with me. All right. I always love it when the camera's like, where are you going? Up, down, up, down. You're at the top level? Really? What level are you at? You don't know. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. All right. Let's get some races going. And then we'll read. Ooh. Ah. You're at level 30. Interesting. My camera's doing that weird glitchy thing again. This is a brand new camera. And stream says I am at an excellent performance level right now. I don't know. I know what we'll try. I'm going to deactivate it and then reactivate it. Gone. And we're back.
Hey everyone, we're gonna take a quick moment to recognize that Jesse is here.
Jesse's here. Does everything sound okay to you guys? Because like Marbles is being really glitchy. I can't tell if it's me. I even did a speed test before stream and I was like 900 megabytes down and up. I don't know what's going on. Like, is OBS having a day? Not uncommon. It's Twitch. Is everybody having this experience right now? Because that kind of sucks. Yeah, you are level 30. Huh. I don't know what to tell you. That's weird. You must have hit the peak and they haven't done anything about it yet. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it does feel a little glitchy, doesn't it? That's so weird. It's never done this before. What is wrong with you? Why? The marbles seem static a bit. Yeah, they are. It's not very smooth at all. And I'm having a hard time understanding why. Tell me why. Oh, now Twitch says it's unstable. No kidding. Wait. Now they seem smooth. All of a sudden, everything seems smooth. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Or in this case, stream ache. Okay, well, as long as my voice is coming through clear, that's kind of the main thing with a reading stream. Which reminds me, Alexa, turn on the Gobi reading lights. There. I forgot my lights up above. Your voice is fine. Okay. Well, at least there's that. Yeah, but this glitching right in my face, it's driving my... Okay, I'm just going to look at the book. We're on chapter 8 tonight, or that's our starting place at least. Mad Locust, good to see you. Oh, if someone sees Renato pop in, let me know, because I owe Renato a redeem for reading. I have not forgotten. You should let me know. All right, chapter 8 is Wednesday, 22nd of February, 2102. We're inside Jay's apartment in Hellstain, Harpton, Maine. Oh, you did refund. That's right. Never mind. Then I owe him nothing. So someone started the puzzle. I'll leave it be then. It's a community puzzle, Matt. You're more than welcome to hop in. Oh, Stepmama's mama claiming the first victory. First blood. First blood. Moving on to race number 2. 60 seconds on the clock. Good luck. A lump appeared in Jay's throat as he took the clothes from the girl and saw the strange markings on her left wrist. He felt uneasy, panicked even. What the hell was this? He tried to convince himself he was getting worked up over nothing. His mind was playing tricks on him. It was only because he had just seen the news report. Jay let out a small, nervous laugh, trying to shake these crazy thoughts from his head, and said, "I'll get you something to wear until these are dry." He backed out of the bathroom, not quite daring to take his eyes off the girl, and tried to pull the door closed. Her hand jutted forward with unnatural speed, stopping the door from closing, and Jay let out a shriek of surprise. The way she moved was too sudden, too quick. Unwell beauty. Jesse, thank you for gifting Amlas a sub. Mod needs a sub. Well, that's very kind of you. I just did workouts, though. Now I have to pretend like I didn't. That was very kind of you. Where's my mouse? Time to spin the wheel. Ooh, you were close on that one. Imagine being a mod. Mad Locust, you calm down. The closest we've gotten is one wedge away. That was like in the early days too. But yeah, you were right there. An intense fear gripped Jay. There was no denying it. She was one of them. He dropped the wet clothes in a heap at his feet and scrambled backwards from the doorway, trying to get out of her reach. He wasn't crazy. She really was what he feared her to be. How had he invited one of these things, one of these human weapons, into his home? He continued to scrabble backwards, his panic rising to an unmanageable level. "Don't hurt me!" He almost screamed the words at her in a blind panic. He couldn't recall ever being so petrified in his life. He stepped backwards again, a few more paces until he was out in his main living space, but she matched every step he took, closing the gap between them. His leg caught on the corner of the coffee table as he took another step back, and he fell to the floor, landing in an awkward heap on his hip, the pain in his already bruised and beaten body momentarily taking his breath. She stood over him, staring at him with a harsh and unfriendly expression. "Please," he whispered. "I was trying to help you." The girl looked at him with her unfriendly eyes. She was terrifying. "Why?" she demanded. "Why did the Bookfather win again? It's not right." Challenge completed. Good luck, race number 3. There was nothing but hostility in her voice. Everything about her demeanor screamed murderer. "You helped me. Why would you help me if you were just going to kill me anyway?" The girl stayed silent, regarding him with the same cold expression. Jay noticed how unnaturally still she was, almost like a statue. She made no noise. There was no movement when she took a breath. She didn't even seem to blink as often as a normal human. "I won't tell. I swear I won't tell anyone. Please. Please just let me go. You don't have to kill me. I swear I won't tell," he begged her. "You will." The way she spoke was monotonous, almost robotic. She took another step forward, closing the gap between them once more, and he shook with pure terror, knowing that if she wanted to, she could kill him right there on the floor. Jay looked around the room in a frantic panic, desperately trying to draw inspiration from somewhere, anything that could possibly save his life. "I can help you. Please, I can help you," he blurted out at her. She seemed taken aback by his offer. She hesitated, and he seized the opportunity to talk his way out of this terrible situation. "You don't fit in. You are so different. People will be able to tell immediately. They're looking for you. They will catch you because you stand out. It's obvious you're different." I mean, he couldn't tell. So... Jay's heart was in his throat, and he held his breath as she seemed to consider what he was saying. He gave his begging another desperate stab. Stab. "You can stay here. I will help you fit in. I will show you. Just, please, don't kill me." His limbs seemed to turn boneless with relief as she gave him a single curt nod and stepped back from him, though she continued to stare at him with the same unfriendly look in her eyes. Jay Jay slowly raised his shaking body up from the floor, wondering what the hell he was meant to do now. He made a mental note to never offer help to a stranger again. The hours that followed were the most tense and uncomfortable of Jay's life. He made his way to his bedroom on shaking legs and collected the clean sweatpants and t-shirt he'd intended to give to her. He was unnerved to find she followed him. She never left more than 2 or 3 feet between them, and he had a sinking feeling she wasn't planning on letting him out of her sight for a second. Just like we shouldn't let Chew out of our sights. Sneaking in there, trying to win races. You're printing yourself a trophy as you speak. Well, that's a great idea. Make sure it says, first place, the Bookfather. He handed her the clothes, and to his surprise, she dropped the towel and donned the clothing without hesitation. Jay averted his eyes as soon as the towel fell to the floor, but he couldn't help seeing. Her body was covered in scars. Some looked like operations, others seemed to have been inflicted intentionally. Some looked more like burns. She didn't seem to care that she had just been standing naked in front of him. Embarrassment and modesty must not be something she was used to. He left the bedroom, and she followed, never taking her eyes off him. The tension rose as the silence grew around them until she eventually spoke. "Give me your door key." Her speech was abrupt and unfriendly. He didn't dare argue with her. He walked across his living space to the kitchen counter where the key had been left and held it out towards her with trembling hands. She took it and abruptly turned, locking the door, and pocketed the key in silence. The feeling of dread crept higher up Jay's chest. He was trapped. There was no way out for him now. Okay, let's just brief pause here for a second. There was no indication whatsoever leading up to this point that, Adele was going to be any sort of problem, threat, a danger, at least not to someone that was being kind, If anything, she seemed more confused and, dare I say, scared when she was out on her own in this new environment with no idea what to do. That's the impression we've had so far for the first 7 chapters. But now, all of a sudden, now she's in charge. She's thinking about things and taking control. It almost reminds me of the movie I, Robot. Did you guys ever see that one? I'm trying to remember when it came out. I want to say 2009, maybe? I don't remember. Well done, Jesse. Well done indeed. You did? Yeah, I Love Thy Robot. The movie is pretty good. The book is fantastic, though a bit different. Well, I'm sure it is. Yeah, they always are. Just watched the beginning of it last week. Huh. What are the odds? But yeah, or 2004. Okay, so I was like 5 years off. But yeah, it kind of gives me that I, Robot kind of feel, like, you need to stay here now. You're not allowed to leave. But yeah, it's I think it's interesting in this moment in the story because we've kind of flipped a switch inside Adele, the robot. She went from being unsure and I must follow commands, otherwise I don't know what to do, to suddenly being in charge. It's interesting. Anyway, carrying on. Dry's here. Look out.
Noise.
Wow, even the sound commands are coming in choppy. Holy crap. Hi, Dry. Dry, everything feels a bit wonky tonight. I think it has something to do with the goats in the ocean. Probably chewing on the electrical wires. I don't know if it's OBS or me or both. I haven't restarted my computer in a while, and I'm pretty sure there's even an update I need to do. I should probably do that after stream. Anyway, welcome in. Bookfather's computer ate one of the grown-up brownies. Yeah, well, it was hungry. Night Marcher's here. There we go, ruining my picking on you and the goats. Well, I figured if I beat you to it. Tactics. Tactics. Page 110. I'll be having my grown-up gummy soon. Nice. Jay didn't know what to do, what to say, or how to act. He was scared to put one foot wrong in case she changed her mind and decided to kill him. He stood in the same spot, by the kitchen counter where his door key had been so casually lain. His arm rested on the side to support his weight. His legs weren't able to manage on their own. Jay felt the vibrations of his phone buzzing in his pocket. He always had the volume down. It never rang out loud, and feelings of safety bubbled up under his skin. He had a phone. Jay had no idea that the strange girl could hear it vibrating. She held out her hand and stared at him. "Phone," she demanded. With no choice but to hand it over to her, the feeling of being trapped increased tenfold. Now he had no way to escape, and no way to contact anybody for help. The news report was still playing in the background. Jay couldn't stand to hear it anymore, but he didn't want there to be nothing but this awful, uncomfortable silence either. He left it playing and tried not to listen to how dangerous these escaped murderous experiment people were. Jay had never felt so unsure of himself. He didn't know what to do or how to act. All he could do was stand aimlessly in his kitchen and try to act natural. Adele hardly spoke, and when she did, she wasn't friendly. Jay wouldn't even dare look at her. He kept glancing at her from where he stood, but his eyes would always dart away before he dared allow them to rest on her face. The hours wore on, and nothing about their situation changed. Jay had worked up enough courage to walk to his dining table and sit down. He was now sitting at the table with his head in his hands, silently hoping, praying, wishing, begging any entity who might hear his pleas. He wasn't a religious man, but he had never been so desperate for a miracle. Adele stood at the wall, still guarding the door. She hadn't moved for hours. She kept her watchful eye on Jay. Jay's headache had returned. He knew it was a mix of the hangover, the stress of the situation, and the fact that the effect of those magic pill she had given him earlier had started to wear off. He sat, nervously picking at the skin on the edge of his thumb. It was becoming sore, but he couldn't stop. He needed something to focus on, anything to keep his mind occupied and stop him worrying about how much longer he would be kept prisoner in his own house. At least he was alive right now. She could change her mind at any moment and kill him. Jay noticed how, even though she held all the power in this situation, she was still incredibly jumpy. She seemed to flinch at every noise, and her head would jerk toward every sound she heard. Other than these tiny nervous movements, she was motionless, almost like a statue. She never shifted her weight or slouched. She never paced or leaned back against the wall to support her weight. Jay couldn't take it anymore. He needed to get up and get away from her, but he didn't know how. He was hungry, thirsty, and he needed to pee. He had to pee. Nothing will motivate a person more than needing to go to the bathroom. Am I right? Well, Chew, look at you. Taking first place like you wanted to. Chicka-boom, boom, boom, chicka-boom. Truth, it's chaos. Chaos is here, everybody. There's chaos in the stream. Also, thanks, Trophy 2 queued up. Oh, you're making a trophy per race. Wow, that's very humble of you. It took him a little longer to psych himself up. He didn't know if she would hurt him if he made any movements. Slowly, he eased himself up from his chair without looking in her direction and tried to be as casual as possible as he made his way to the bathroom. Her eyes followed him across the apartment, but she made no attempt to follow or stop him. Jay let out a long sigh of relief as the door closed behind him. It felt oppressive to be under her constant scrutiny. He checked his watch, and it came as no surprise to find it was almost 4 p.m. He had been sitting in that uncomfortable silence for hours. It felt like an age since he had brought this girl into his house. He used the toilet, washed his face, trying to freshen himself up. He brushed his teeth just to make himself feel more like himself. To make him feel more like himself. It didn't work, but at least he had removed the awful, stale taste in his mouth, caused by 3 days of heavy drinking. That will do it. I listened to Kendrick Lamar's Man at the Garden earlier, so I'm deserving it all. He took several deep breaths, knowing he had to go back out there, where she would continue to glare at him and make him uncomfortable. She was standing in the same spot, eyes pinned on the bathroom door, waiting for him to emerge. She didn't appear to have moved at all, and Jay wondered how her feet and legs weren't aching. It's probably because they're robotic, man. All joking aside, it's a great song if you're ever needing a reminder that you have intrinsic value. You deserve happiness. That's a good note, Chew. And Jesse wants me to read aggressively. Are we surprised? Not really. Chrissy, this is going to be new for you, so just go with it. It's better just to let it happen. Okay. He sat for another few minutes, then discreetly checked his watch again. Time seemed to have slowed down. It felt more like 25 minutes to have passed, not 5. Hunger gnawed at him. And he decided that if she allowed him to use the bathroom to pee, then she probably wouldn't stop him from using the kitchen. He sat a few more minutes, weighing up the likelihood of her stopping him from moving. But since he was desperate for something to drink too, he decided it was worth the risk. Calmly raising himself up from the chair, using the table to support himself, he walked to his kitchen, trying his best not to draw attention to himself with every movement he made. Not that it mattered. She was still staring at him. She hadn't taken her eyes off him since he had found out who she was. Almost as though her sole purpose in life was to guard him and make sure he didn't move. He pulled a glass from the cupboard, filled it with water, and took a long drink. His thirst wasn't satisfied, and he refilled the glass. Then a thought hit him. The girl was probably thirsty too. He filled another glass and slowly approached her, holding the water out towards her with shaking hands. Look for the Atangi extension. Yes. I don't know why the dungeon command isn't working, but I know the 500 channel point redeem does. Because I've seen people do it. She looked at his face, but she didn't make eye contact as she took the water in total silence. No murmur of a thank you or any ounce of gratitude left her body. Jay saw how she held the glass but didn't drink from it. He returned to the table and sat with his own drink, watching her out of the corner of his eye as she lifted the glass to her lips and took a cautious sip. Jay couldn't stand the silence anymore. If she would just talk to him, it would be something. If she could reassure him that she would not snap and kill him at any moment, or if she told him what behavior was acceptable? Was he allowed to walk around his house? Was he allowed to go to his room? Without much thought, he blurted out, "Are you hungry?" He was gaining confidence around her now, having already been to the bathroom and to the kitchen, and she hadn't stopped him from doing either. Indeed. Bear with me a moment as I turn off my camera. Ooh, you found the pirate cutlass, did you? Lovely. I'm gonna see what I can do to help the stream. Yeah, I've got to pick my nose. That's right. Read like Hagrid. Okay. All right then. The girl didn't answer his question, but he got up from the table regardless and walked to the kitchen in search of something to eat. There wasn't a lot. He hadn't been shopping for quite some time. Since Tanya's anniversary had come closer, he had lost his appetite for anything solid. Half a loaf of bread was sitting open on his counter, and he opted for toast. Oh, I should not have said that. Alright, come on then, first years. The bread was a little stale and had seen better days, but it would taste okay toasted. Just like Amlass would if she won her race, which she did. Nom nom nom. That sounds a bit weird when I say it like that. Oh, thank you very much, Chew. Jay busied himself in the kitchen, deciding to toast all the remaining bread just to give his hands something to do, and gave his mind something else to focus on. I actually turned off the webcam so I could remove my shirt and sit here half naked. When he had finished buttering all the slices, he pulled 2 plates from the cupboard and divided the toast between them. Nerves got the better of him as he carried them to the table and set one down at the end closest to the girl. His legs were like jelly as he carried his own plate across to the other side, as far away from her as possible. Her eyes traveled across the room and settled on the plate of food closest to her. But she made no attempt to move, speak, or eat. She kept her silent watch. Are you going to stand there all day? Jay snapped. His own bravery took him by surprise, but it had no effect on Adele. She remained silent. Why don't you speak? There was an undertone of annoyance in his voice, and he silently cursed himself for his stupidity. What was he thinking, trying to rile her or get a response out of her? Jay ate his toast in silence. Hers remained at the end of the table untouched. I'm going to bed, he blurted out. The words came from his mouth without thinking them through. It was only 6 p.m., and although he was tired, he knew there was no way he could sleep. What if she insisted on following him to his bedroom and watching him while he slept? You are welcome to sleep in the spare room, he added, pointing to the closed door next to his open one, and hoping she would take the hint. He got up, praying she wouldn't follow him. She stayed where she was, and relief flooded his body with such force he almost cried. He had made it to the bedroom door, hand poised on the handle. He was just about to disappear through it when she spoke to him. I will kill you if you try to leave. I will kill you if you tell anyone I am here. Jay couldn't respond. The only words she had spoken to him since she had been there were ones threatening his life. He closed the door behind him, attempting to feel like he was away from her, and collapsed onto his bed. His room was cool and dimly lit. The blinds had not been opened since before his 3-day drinking adventure. Jay lay shaking. The fear kept hitting him in waves. He wondered if he was experiencing shock or if this was what it was like to have an anxiety attack. He tried to calm himself, taking his time to breathe deeply and remind himself that at least she wasn't inside this room with him. There was no way he would be able to sleep. What would stop her from coming and killing him while he slept? He tried to tell himself that if she wanted to kill him, he would be already dead. But those thoughts were not as comforting as he hoped. He idly tossed around the idea of waiting until she was asleep and climbing out of his bedroom window, but his apartment was on the 3rd floor. Even if he survived the fall, it wouldn't be easy to get away. She would kill him. He was trapped. He laid awake for hours, unable to switch off. There was no noise to be heard, save for the quiet ticking of the old-fashioned clock on his wall, and his mind raced in circles. The same thoughts intruding on him over and over. What is she doing? What is she thinking? Am I safe? Will she kill me? The hours ticked by, and he did eventually drift off into a fitful sleep. So it looks like there's a break in the story here. It's not literally a new chapter, but I'm assuming because he did drift off to sleep that we're just putting in a nice solid break in time there. However, yeah, there's about 5 1/4 pages left until the chapter actually finishes. So I'm going to take a quick sip of tea. So here's the question. Has the marbles gotten any smoother since I turned my cam off? And I think the answer is no. Man, that's good tea. Yeah, it does feel like it's basically the same. Rogue browser tab. I mean, yeah, I guess I could literally check. I don't know why I pulled that up. I don't have to. Not that one. This one. I could close basically everything. See if that makes a difference. I was away, the kitten needed me. Are you kidding me right now? I'm just watching marbles for a second just to see if... I feel like it's improved. It's not quite as jittery. I mean, it's still there a little, but it feels better. Or I could just be lying to myself. I don't know. Hold on. Let me put my shirt back on and we'll test the webcam. Seems stable-ish. Ish being the word. I'm in the underground forest. Forest. Oh crap, there's an ad starting. Well, that's good timing since we're at a break. I'm gonna start the ads, and then I'll do more workouts. And my cam is definitely lagging. Hammer curls times 5. Okay, I guess we're just doing 15 hammer curls. Sounds good. Distracted by a newborn butterfly? Nice form. Well, thank you. Oh, my Lanta, I didn't realize what time it was. I gotta go get ready for stream, but it was nice hanging out for a while. Chrissy, it was a pleasure having you here. I hope you have a fantabulous stream. Yep, you always got to remember on those hammer curls, shoulders back, square yourself off, and then just bend at the shoulder. Keep that top arm straight and let the forearm do all the work, baby. All right, break's over. Get back to work. Thursday, 23rd February 2102. We're still in Jay's apartment. Let's find out what happens next. Jay awoke the next morning and rubbed his face and tried to think straight. What was he meant to do? At least I'm alive, he thought. It was almost 8 a.m. and he had absolutely no desire to leave the safety of his bedroom and face the girl, but he knew he couldn't spend the day here either. He wasted another hour of his day worrying before he eventually plucked up the courage. He could hear no noise from the outside, his closed bedroom door, and he was unrealistically hopeful that perhaps she had left. Oh, Jay. Maybe she had gone while he was sleeping, and he could just continue with his life and forget all about her. He knew deep down it wasn't true. She wasn't going anywhere. Well, look at that. Chrissy left, but she won her... she won. Look at that. She just... It's like a hit and run. So wham bam, thank you ma'am. Win marbles, and then leave. Unbelievable. Some people's kids, I tell you. It took a few tries to work up his courage, but he finally left his bed. Holding his breath and praying she wasn't around, he gently opened his door. It was absurd to be sneaking around his own house, but he was terrified to make too much noise or any sudden movements. He spotted her immediately. She was standing in the same place by the door. It looked as though she hadn't moved all night. The water and the toast he had given her had gone, but aside from that, nothing had changed. "Morning," he said, casting a tentative look in her direction. She didn't react, so Jay scuttled off to the bathroom and decided he needed a shower. Once he was in the bathroom and knew she was unlikely to follow him, he breathed out a sigh of relief. Jay took his time in the shower. He washed his hair and shaved his face in an attempt to ready himself for whatever today might bring. He should have been at work today. This was his 4th missed day in a row. and he knew he was in big trouble. At the very least, he needed to contact them, but she had his phone. He wondered if she would allow him a phone call. But how could he ask her? She was terrifying. He ambled back to his room, taking as long as humanly possible to get himself dressed. Once he was clothed in his black jeans and plain blue button-down shirt, he decided the only thing to do now was to make some coffee and try his best to act normal. She wore the same passive expression on her face as her eyes followed him across the room. Her cold, gray eyes were the only part of her that moved. The rest of her body remained perfectly still. It was unnatural. Jay busied himself in the kitchen. He made 2 coffees and asked her, "Do you take sugar?" Her expression momentarily changed to one of fear. It seemed that question had upset her, but she was quick to recover herself, and the plain, stony face returned. Jay wondered if she had even heard him correctly. He placed the coffee on the table next to the empty plate that was there from the previous night. "There's sugar over there if you want it," he said, pointing to the canister on the work surface. There was no answer, and the silence was hard to stomach. She gave no response to any of his attempts to communicate, and he didn't know if he could cope with another day like yesterday. A day in complete and uncomfortable silence while anxiety threatened to engulf him as he feared for his life. Jay poured himself a bowl of dry cereal. The milk was not within its usual... Wow, we'll start that sentence again. The milk was not within its usable date, but he gave it a tentative sniff anyway. We've all been there, right? Like, well, it says yesterday, but it smells okay. He took his time picking at the cereal and sipping his coffee, noticing how hers was left untouched on the table. When he had finished eating, he cleared the plates from yesterday and washed up the dishes, trying to work up the courage to speak to her. Adele? She seemed to startle at hearing her name, and he wondered if it was even her name at all. She was looking at him, her eyes boring into his head, but she didn't make eye contact, her eyes fixed on his lips as he spoke. Jay wasn't sure how to continue. He took a nervous intake of breath and tried to quell the anxiety. "I need to use my phone. I need to contact my work." Her eyes narrowed, and she looked to be considering what he was saying, though she still made no response. "It's not about the smell of the milk. It can still be chunky when it smells all right, and you don't want chunky milk in your cereal." Blech. Don't they just call that cottage cheese? I feel that line, looking at his lips while someone is speaking. Chunky milk, cottage cheese. I feel like they're one and the same. Anywho. People will expect me to be at work today. They will try to contact me. I need to let them know I won't be able to make it today. He spoke in slow and concise sentences, as though maybe she didn't understand. Dang it. I was making a cheese joke and you beat me. Oh, but I'm the king of cheese jokes around here. Please, Adele, I can't afford to lose my job. Stumped Mama's mama, coming in with the win. So, not a fan of cottage cheese? Heck no. That stuff is rancid. It even looks weird. Cottage cheese is probably one of the foods that just looks like it shouldn't be food. I don't get it. It doesn't even look right. And someone decided, oh my god, this is amazing. Try it with some melon. Put some oranges on it. Ugh. Makes no sense to me at all. She was still staring at him. What is the purpose of your job? Her speech was sharp. It sounded harsh to Jay's ears. I'm keeping a list of things not to feed the bookfather, and I like cottage cheese, but not with fruit. Well, at least we have something in common there. Jay was momentarily taken aback. He wasn't expecting a response at all. I'm a manager at a warehousing firm. I handle stock and distribution. But what for? She asked. What is the purpose of work? Jay took a step forward, and the girl seemed to flinch. It seemed like she was every bit afraid of him as he was of her. It made no sense. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean, why do I go to work? Yes. To earn money. To pay for things. It had only just dawned on him how she really had no knowledge of the world. When he said he would help her fit in, he only meant that she was strange, and it was obvious she was different. He explained in simple words, as though he were addressing a 5-year-old. I get paid to work. I spend the money on food and bills and rent. If I don't go to work, I don't get paid. If I don't get paid, I can't live in this house or buy any food. Cottage cheese with some radish slices and pepper on bread. Are you just messing with me? But cheese was good on my scalloped potatoes tonight. I don't have a problem with cheese, although I only eat hot mozzarella. But cottage cheese is a different breed entirely. You're serious? Cheese and radish? Oh, okay. She didn't answer, she only continued to stare at him. Do you understand? Yes. Then, can I please have my phone? If I don't call in, I might not have a job to go back to. She handed the phone to him. Only speaking, no writing. Jay gulped. Clearly, she wanted to be certain what was being communicated between him and whoever he spoke to. Jay dialed the number for Marcoux. If anyone could get him out of trouble, it was his best friend. They had covered for one another so many times. Marcoux owed Jay big. Marcoux, it's me, he said as his friend answered the phone. Jay, where the hell have you been, man? Glasby's going ape. You've not shown up for 4 days. Even Mr. Johnson has been trying to get a hold of you. Jay tried not to panic. Look, I'm sick, okay? Just tell Glasby I'm sick. Tell him I'm in the hospital or something. Tell him I'll be back after the weekend. I'll be back after the bookfather wins more races. what? I may just unsubscribe at this point? Well, you know, I understand you have to do what you gotta do, but, yeah, I'm a very selective eater. So like Jessie saying she's not big on eggs if they're scrambled, whereas I only eat eggs scrambled. So it's just one of them things. You better be sick, Jay. You know he's gonna want to see your medical record. You can't tell him you've been to hospital if there's no record of it. Okay. No hospital. Just tell him I'm sick then. Just tell him I'll be back on Monday. Okay. So where have you been, really? Jay couldn't answer. He saw Adele tense as Marcus spoke. He was certain she could hear both sides of this conversation. Jay, come on! If I'm covering for you, I need to know why. Are you in some sort of trouble? You were pretty drunk last time you called me. Adele was tense. She looked like she was poised for an attack. Jay was struggling to sound normal on the phone. Okay, look, I got drunk. I got into a fight. I got arrested. They banned my cards and everything. And if I've been in a mess, I'm okay now. I'm going to get my shit together and I'll be in work on Monday. Why can't you come to work today, Jay? Jay looked at Adele. He didn't know what to say or how to stop Marcus asking questions. The silence drew on for a long moment, until Marcus eventually said in an exasperated tone, Right, whatever. You owe me big. I'll come by later and make sure you're okay. No! Jay shouted down the phone in panic. He recovered himself and said more calmly, No. Really, I'm fine. I'll see you Monday. He clicked off the phone and slumped into the chair. Hearing his friend's voice had been comforting, but now he was gone. Jay felt alone and afraid again. That's you. You only eat scrambled, not big on eggs anyway, but scrambled, I'll eat eggs anyway, as long as the white is done. But that's my point. To each their own. We all like different things. Sometimes we like the same things, just done in a different way. That's the science of cooking. Different processes provide different outcomes. There's no exaggeration when I say that. Adele was standing in front of him, hand outstretched. Phone, she demanded. Jay swallowed. I still need to use it, he said, trying to sound confident. There are emails I need to reply to and things I need to do. Her hand was still outstretched and her face said not to argue with her. He reluctantly handed over his phone for the second time. The rest of the day passed much the same as the previous one. Every feeble attempt he made to speak to her got no response. He paced around his apartment like a trapped animal, desperate to get out. Until this week, he had never realized how much he hated being cooped up inside. Adele never took her eyes off him, not for a second. She even forced him to accompany her to the bathroom. She didn't seem to have any qualms about peeing in front of a stranger. His stomach rumbled with hunger, and he found some old potatoes. They were covered in little sprouts and looked